Good morning, Carmel Catholic. In a few minutes, we're going to begin our Corsairs Care Day. But at this time, we want to take the opportunity to share with you some history and context about Corsairs Care, as well as its significance and importance. We're celebrating our 47th year. And this day, Corsairs, is about community and fellowship. And it's also a day to connect with the mission of our founders. And as you know, our great founders here at Carmel Catholic are the Sisters of Charity of the Blessed Virgin Mary and the Order of Carmelites. And with that, we also want to highlight how our great founders really were inspired, of course, by the mission of Christ, by the gospel. And notice too, in that great scene of the Lord's Supper from John's account, so we don't have the traditional institution narrative, but in John's gospel, which we hear on Holy Thursday, you have the washing of the feet. That takes place on the night of the Last Supper. And remember, Corsairs, what does Jesus say to Peter and his apostles? If I, your teacher and Lord, have washed your feet, so too you must wash one another's feet. I have given you an example, a model to follow. And then Jesus famously says, I give you a new commandment. Corsairs, Jesus says, I give you a new commandment. Love one another as I have loved you. That is how they will know that you are my disciples. Our founders spoke passionately about that. We still do today at Carmel Catholic in that great legacy and tradition. And so today with us are Mrs. Andy Fitzpatrick and Mr. Mike Polis. They're going to share more about Corsairs Care. Thank you both for joining us and being here today.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yes, glad to be here.
And Mrs. Fitzpatrick, can you share your connection to the BVMs and how this day aligns with their charisms?
Yes, thank you for asking, Father. The BVM Associates, as you may have heard before, their core values are freedom, education, charity, and justice. And those tie in so perfectly to what Father just said, love others as I have loved you. It's all about showing our love for other people. I found out about the BVMs from my mom, who went to a BVM high school in St. Louis, but really didn't know much about what they stood for until I started working here back in fall of 2020. And as I found out more and found out what the core values were all about for them, I felt more drawn to them. After about a year-long process of discernment, I officially became a BVM associate. And that happened almost 2 years ago. So I'm very proud to be a BVM associate, and service to others, social justice is just something that so many of them work towards, even to this day.
Thanks, Mrs. Fitzpatrick. Mr. Polis, can you provide your connection to the Carmelites and why this day is important?
Sure. My connection to Carmelites goes back to 1976, actually, when I first walked through the doors here as a freshman, and has been with me and part of my life and my family's life for my entire adult life. My kids went to Carmel, and I've been discerning the lay Carmelite path for the last few years now, and I'm just finishing my first year of official formation as a lay third order Carmelite. I will finish actually in 2 weeks, and I will be then making my initial promises shortly after that here at Carmel. I've actually got permission by the powers to be at the Carmelite to be able to make my promises here right at Carmel, which has will be very special for me.
So awesome.
Yeah.
And Mr. Polis, you mentioned 1976. You walked through the front doors.
I was one of the shortest little freshmen walking through the front doors here, actually. So, and I remember it very clearly. So it's been a part of my life for a long time. And so our charisms are prayer and community and service. Mm-hmm. And this walkathon is a combination of all of those, all three charisms, support by our charisms of the Carmelite order.
And to that point, Mr. Polis, we know that the walkathon began officially in 1979. So during your esteemed tenure here at Carmel
Yes.
Catholic, can you share, even from your memory and recollection, a little bit about that history when it all began?
I remember it as I would have been a junior at the time. It was my junior year, and I actually remember it like it was yesterday. And we had they quite didn't know where to walk us, and because we were high school for Carmel for boys and Carmel for girls.
That's right.
And so we walked all through town, downtown, all the way to Bill's Pizza on 45, and then through the neighborhoods, and then we came back to Carmel. And the teachers were in spots throughout the town, and we had to sign a paper. We had to have our paper there, and we had to get them to initial it that we took the entire route. And I fondly remember Father Ray, a Carmelite priest that was our science and chemistry teacher, and he was a Marine chaplain. And Father Ray took a bunch of students, and they basically did a military march throughout the entire walkathon, which I thought was really cool. So those are my memories of the first walkathon here at Carmel.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
They didn't trust you very much. You had to check in at the sign.
No, we had to have check-ins, but we were a different group of kids back then.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
How things have evolved.
Yes.
Mrs. Fitzpatrick, the BVMs have a special charity they support, Bethany House of Hospitality, one of our fundraising recipients this year.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that wonderful organization?
Yes. So Bethany House of Hospitality supports young immigrant women and their children to be more integrated into society, to be supported financially with housing, food, all of those types of things. Because you can imagine what it would be like going to a different country and not having that community and that network that you might be used to from your country of origin. So we will be hearing a little bit more about Bethany House from Sister Peggy Garrity. She's a former Carmel teacher and principal, and she also serves on the board of directors at Bethany House of Hospitality.
Hello, I'm Sister Peggy Garrity, BVM, a member of the Bethany House Board of Directors. The idea for Bethany House emerged from a meeting in February 2017 called by Benedictine Sister Patricia Crowley to address the need for housing for immigrant women aging out of the youth detention center. At age 18, these young women were being transferred to the adult detention center unless they had an alternative. We dreamed that something like Bethany House could be that alternative, and it has become that. We shared our dream too with the Viatorians who had established Viator House the year before. So we knew we were working together on a common cause. Continued financial support from both men's and women's religious congregations has enabled Bethany to continue to serve for these past 2 years. We are grateful for their continuing support. 17 congregations have become sustaining members, guaranteeing their support in 3-year commitments.
And Mrs. Fitzpatrick, would you share a little bit about Corsairs Care within that framework of how it impacts a larger community?
Definitely. I think that sometimes when we do service, it might just be to check off a box, or we might see the impact that it has. But sometimes we don't realize the impact is a lot broader than ourselves. It's not just about us. It's about the larger community. And one example of that has been posted in our newsletter from, I think it was in yesterday's newsletter. It'll also be in the newsletter from this week, but it was related to our service with Feed My Starving Children. Mm-hmm. And Bobby is serving in Panama and with the Peace Corps, and he was at a community event where boxes from Feed My Starving Children were delivered. So to know that those boxes that your hands may have touched are reaching the communities where they are intended to reach was just very full circle and very impactful. So when you're doing service, whether you may think it's small or doesn't really mean that much, it really does have a broader impact on the community.
Amen. And never underestimate the impact, the difference you make Saint Teresa of Avila, Saint Teresa of Lisieux, great Carmelite saints. But really, in that tradition, the great Carmelites, they would articulate that I can do small things with great love. That's glorifying God, that's serving God, and seeing Christ in the other. Mr. Polis, the Carmelites have chosen to support the St. Vincent de Paul's local food pantry. You have been directly involved in this community resources, I know well. Can you share some of your insight about that?
Yes, the food pantry is right over at Santa Maria de Popolo, right here in Mundelein. These are our neighbors, and we have been on Fridays. You can contact Ms. Kurger in campus ministry and sign up. We take the bus there and to Jewel, and we stock the pantry with many, many boxes of food. And this is very Carmelite, especially that it's our neighbors and it's right in our community. In the 1200s, when the Carmelites left the Holy Land and left Mount Carmel for Europe, they ended in the rural areas, right in the cities. And that service component was their community right at large. And that's where they reached out and were serving their communities, which we will be doing every Friday here at Santa Maria, which is a very important part of our charism for our community.
And you both know I love Bible. If I may quote the Bible one more time, but Matthew 25:40, Jesus says there, whatever you do to the least of my sisters and brothers, you do for me. To both Mrs. Fitzpatrick and Mr. Polis, as we walk in community together this morning through the beautiful grounds and this historic and incredible, magnificent campus that is the University of St. Mary of the Lake, Mundelein Seminary, is there something we might reflect upon that will also help us, our students, to connect with our founders?
Yes, I think so. When you're going through, you will be talking with your friends and laughing and having fun. But also just take the time to listen to the birds, feel the breeze, see all the trees greening up. Because God gave us this creation. And when we can all think about it at night when you're looking at the stars in the sky, there's somebody on the other side of the country, on the other side of the world that's seeing the same sky. So all of that ties us together, and just take it all in, absorb it. Thank God for his creation, and think of the beauty that he has given all of us to enjoy.
For the Carmelites, I know you've heard this many times in your theology class and through our campus ministries, our charisms of prayer and service and community. What you'll be doing today is all three of those charisms. You will be praying, you'll be walking as a community. It's not only serving the outside community, but you as fellow students, you are a community built in Jesus Christ. And it is prayer. What you are doing is very important as you walk together and doing this very important mission for Carmel and for our community.
Thank you, Mr. Polis. Thank you, Mrs. Fitzpatrick. Thank you both for being here and joining us as you share about our founders and the great significance and impact of this day. Students, Corsairs, in just a few minutes, you will receive dismissal instructions, so stay tuned for that. And I would say it's most appropriate and apropos that I have an alliterative phrase to conclude. Have a colossal Corsairs Care Day, Carmel.